as with a lot of big bands, a stroke of luck kind of happens to some bands, don't they? But you had one at a wedding.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, we used to be on a small label called Transatlantic Records, and they had this really great plugger, a guy called Ricky Hopper, and he got lots of plays on radio and BBC and Luxembourg, things like that. Anyway, he left that company and went somewhere else, and he phoned me up one day and said, I'm getting married. He told me the date, it was a Saturday date, and he said, would you guys play at my wedding? But I can't afford to pay you, but there'd be lots of famous people there. And we'd heard that one lots of times before. But he did do us a lot of favours in the past, and we didn't have anything else on, so we went. And we played the first set, came off, and David Gilmour came up to me and sort of said he really liked our original numbers, and could he have a phone number? So I gave him a phone number, and he phoned me up a few days later and said he just moved into his first big house, probably just getting the money through from Dark Side of the Moon, and had a studio put in it, and he wanted to check it out, and he said, would you guys like to come to my studio? There's no charge, he said, but I'll be experimenting. So we went to his home. He used to live in Essex then, and we spent all day in there and into the evening, recorded about half a dozen songs, and then he phoned me up a few days later and said that he, on his last American tour, he brought a pedal steel guitar. Would I mind if he dubbed some on the tracks? So I said, no, go ahead. Then he invited us there to do some more demos, then some more, and then the next time we came, his manager was there, Pink Floyd manager, and he offered to manage us. So
God,
that's how we got in.
One ball that got rolling, wasn't
it?
Yeah. Did you know he was at the wedding? Did you see him mingling about, and did you go?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Also, I didn't really know all that much about Pink Floyd.
Oh.
Not a band I'd really sort of followed. He was just such a great guy. There's no sort of star thing about him or anything, and he's just a very nice guy.
Just wanted to help out a band that you saw promising.
Yeah, he really liked the songs. He said what drew him to them first were the lyrics, because he can't write lyrics himself.
Of course, yeah.
So Roger wrote the lyrics in Pink Floyd, and then afterwards his wife Polly wrote lyrics. So he liked that about Ken's songwriting.
And then he asked to use one of your songs on his first solo album, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's funny, that particular, he phoned me up the day before the session. Ken, who wrote all the songs in Unicorn, had what they call writer's block. He hadn't written anything for a couple of months, and we were booked in the studio, and Dave phoned me up the day before and said, I can't make it to the studio tomorrow, but it's booked and paid for, so go in, maybe dub on some things, track a few things. When we got there, Ken said, I wrote 2 songs last night, and we just put them down in the studio, and they just, one in particular, it just felt right from the beginning.
And that was one of them.
And he went in the studio the next day to listen to what we'd done, and he phoned me up. He said, that's the best thing you've ever done. I'm going to cover that on my solo album. And he did. He put it on his solo album, and it was a single from his solo album too.
That was amazing.